Hey, Cam and his Cam friends.
Hey,
Hot ones.
Hot ones.
Hot ones.
Oh man.
So today we got two very special guests on the show. We have JJ and Gracia. JJ is, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, but like he's a wedding singer, but also on the steps so much more like to being a very successful. I don't want to say this term and you get offended, but I was gonna say pop artist.
Yeah.
But
hey, I'm here for
Doesn't
that.
pop stand for popular?
Popular.
It is popular.
I want to be a popular artist.
And then Gracia, very much in my retrospect, very much likes poetry and writes her own poetry and is also very talented.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some questions. We got our hot ones. We got the wings. All right, let me go ahead and get my honorary sip out of the way before we start.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or okay.
Honorary sip. Hey. Cheers. Sip.
Cool. That's the one. That's the one. Everybody gets your one. That's your one, baby.
All right.
Okay, so guys, we're first starting off with, and we're just gonna dab them. Also, special shout out: JJ cooked the wings today.
Yes, I did.
So we're very excited. And not only did he cook our wings, but for Gracia, he made vegetarian wings. So we're very excited. All right, so I will let you start the dab. I'll let you start the dab process. And also sitting off to the next to me is my very good buddy, Justin. He is not participating, but one day we'll probably have a good little hot ones with the both of us where we just do insane wings since Justin is the hot sauce aficionado.
You gotta have a
I
standoff.
like that.
All right.
I like that.
All right, everybody, right here, let me see. And this one you can be.
All right, okay, give it.
I mean, it's
You
really.
know,
I'm telling
yeah,
you,
you
it's
know.
like. I should look up what the Scoville of like Tabasco is versus this because like it's not a lot.
This has that look of sweet and sour, kind of.
It's a little. It's
Yeah.
a little Asian infused. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
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 Whoop. It's just really good.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got my wing pulled down.
Mm-hmm.
It only took like what 6 episodes.
All
All right, guys.
5 pounds of wings later.
First question. Where are you guys from?
Oh, you first.
Why don't you a lot slower so you go ahead?
I was actually born in Miami,
I didn't know this.
which makes me a crazy Florida person secretly.
Florida man.
Florida man.
I am a secret Florida man. And then when I was about like 5, we moved to Marietta, Georgia. And I basically I grew up there. And so, yeah, I'm from right around the corner.
I was born in Greenville, South Carolina. But I spent like 7-8 years in Mexico and like the northeast coast kind of area. And then I also moved to Marietta, which is where we met.
Nice.
Where you at?
Nice. All right, Gracia, you're starting us off. This one is refreshing. Honestly, it's like a Thai green chili.
I like those green sauces.
Yeah, they're
All
pretty
right.
good. This one and this
Happy
one
Green.
are gonna be like the most salsa-y ones.
All right. Happy Dippy Green.
Happy dippy
Here we
green.
go.
Dude, these wings are awesome.
Good. I'm glad.
I know. Oh god, that was way too much. Oh god.
Too excited.
Oh.
Bad.
All right.
My bad, Legion.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, this is nothing. I'm telling you.
So it's not spicy.
Mm-mm.
It's like herby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's like spicy pesto.
ooh, that's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
As my boy Shia would say,
That's
I'm,
really fun.
I'm not cute when cleaning my wings. Not cute. And I think the audio is pretty good on this, but we'll project just a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in
yeah.
case.
You're
Alright, guys.
boneless, so I'm actually kind of in trouble because this is a lot of food, and I'm gonna eat it all.
It's,
Out of like just reflex.
I'm just gonna have to eat it.
I'm gonna
That's
have
it.
to do it,
Yeah.
guys. On this next question, now I ask everyone this. I ask everyone the first one too, but
Right.
I also this one like, as far as tattoos go,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys both have tattoos?
I do.
He does.
She
Tell
does
us
not.
about it.
Okay, not a problem. At this show so far, you are the second person to have
I
tattoos
know.
on
It was
this
like
show.
it's like me and Jess.
Jess, you
yeah.
and
I
Jess,
got a
that's
belly
it.
button piercing.
Okay.
That is true.
So,
That's what's up.
I mean,
That's what's
I
up.
myself don't even have tattoos, so like I can't be. But anyway, we'll start with JJ.
All right.
Which tattoo is your favorite, and why did you get it?
This one's probably my favorite.
It's
Actually,
a palm tree.
It's
just
a
so
palm
people-
tree. So this right here on my arm, you can't really see it, but it's a tiny little palm tree. My sister actually passed away in 2012 from brain cancer, and her name Tamar translates to palm tree. And she was an incredible artist, and she, instead of signing her name, would sign this specific palm tree. So I have it on here. My dad has it on his hand, and yeah, it's like super meaningful to me. I really like that one, and then also super meaningful to me, but super dumb. This is from Tekken.
That was your first one.
This is my first tattoo, and I do not regret this because I freaking love Tekken to this day. And the person who, this is Jin Kazama's tattoo. He has it. I have it. My favorite character. I will destroy anybody with that guy.
You pronounce it Jean?
Jin.
Is it
Yeah.
not Jen?
It is not Jin. It is Jin.
Are you sure?
It is.
I pronounced it as Jen my whole life.
I did for a long time until I started studying Japanese, and then I was
Fuck.
like,
Jen is so much cooler.
I mean, like, it really means like man.
Okay.
That's what it translates to.
Gotcha.
Like just
Super mean.
I was also
And-
very much a Tekken guy.
yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. So
King was my guy. Armored King and Tekken 2 was my shit.
listen, let me tell you. All right. So there's this game called King of Fighters. That
Oh yeah.
yeah. So there's a phone game that they had. They had a crossover where they brought Tekken characters over to King of Fighters,
Mm.
and still to this day, I'm playing it now. They got like freaking The Rock on there right
Oh
now,
my God.
which is crazy. But like the strongest person that I have is freaking Gene. Like I'm over there like beating King of Fighters characters with Tekken characters. That is where I am, and that's why I got this tattoo, and that's why I love it. So
All right.
it means a lot to me.
Gracia, what? Okay, so you don't have any tattoos, but if you could have a tattoo, what would you get?
We have plans to, instead of getting wedding rings, to get our tattoos or rings tattooed.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of, Starbucks white bread, but I did always want to get like a crown right there.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe like a crown right here. I don't know. I've always like preferred rings on my middle finger than my ring finger. But anyway, cool. All right, guys, we are doing the third sauce. This one is what is this one called? It has a weird name. Patio's Potion.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna sprinkle in some of this.
This one's pretty good. I love this flavor. Love the flavor, dude.
This is delicious.
I know. Like this is.
Listen, I was about to jump ahead. Like, I was like, can I?
Yeah, so far it's all, guys. It's a cakewalk right now.
All right, we're feeling pretty good right now.
Feeling
I'm
pretty
gonna not
good.
talk shit because I know people will talk shit and then
And
like.
then there's one
Yeah.
that kicks him in the chest.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right.
Here we go.
See.
Boom. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, I still don't know if my bone pulling is correct. It might be.
Mm.
I hope it is. For all you people watching at home.
I said that I was going to do that my next one. I gotta get that.
Also,
delicious.
I'm gonna do one thing, and these wings really are delicious.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring some aesthetic into the thing, guys. We have a
Who live in Georgia?
we live in Georgia. We live in Georgia.
So
Hopefully,
we got mosquito lamps.
mosquito lamps. Hopefully that doesn't make the wings start to taste like that. All right, this next one is kind of like a little bit more personal. Now, as far as each other's like retrospects, I hate using that word because I don't even know if I'm using it correctly. If I'm being honest, but as far as it goes, so let's start with Gracia, and then we'll go to JJ.
Mhm.
When did you get into poetry?
Boom. All right. So I just killed a mosquito, saved your life.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So I was like a nerdy, rebellious kid in high school. So like I would like my attendance was about 40%, but I would skip school to go to like the cafe and go to like poetry slams or go to like the poetry slams in the library and stuff like that. So it's like since early high school kind of thing, and I've just only recently, since being with him, have tapped back into that because like my creative juices have been nourished, you know.
And don't mind me. When it goes dark like that, it's a
Yeah,
thing.
gotcha.
It's a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
So years, but it was like I stepped away from it for like most of my adult life, and then just got back into it all the way.
Nice. And then, what made you? I mean, I got a lot of questions for you. Honestly, it's gonna take more than one wing to cover this. What made you first? Let's start with just what got you into guitar.
Oh, guitar. So my dad is just one of the best guitarists that I've ever known to live. And my brother was also into guitar, and both of them taught themselves. And there was one point in 8th grade where I was failing a couple of classes, which in 8th grade you should be failing classes. So instead of they did put me on punishment. They were like, all right, no more anime, no more video games, no more any of that. And then my dad was like, leave the guitar. My mom was like, no, what is it? He's like, no, leave the guitar. And that's when I learned how to play guitar, because there was literally nothing else to do. But I grew to love it, because I taught myself. I don't know, I found it for myself.
I like that. All right, guys, we're doing Chiba Gold. This is number 4.
Okay.
I got it right here.
This one?
I'm gonna dab mine and then place them over there, so that would be the circuit.
Ooh, that's a lot.
It comes out. This one's kind of saucy as well.
Yeah.
So I've heard that some people say that this one's the first one where it starts to kick.
All right.
But it's really not gonna be that bad.
All right.
What is it, Shiba?
Chiba Gold.
Chiba Gold. All right, here's the Chiba Gold.
Here's the Chiba Gold.
Oh.
I didn't do a good job of pulling that one. Sorry.
This is spicy, but also sweet.
Mm-hmm.
This is about where this also we make at home kind of lives.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me see. And funny enough, these videos, I love that they've been kind of taken off.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy comment on one that I hadn't even posted anywhere, asking if we could be friends. I hope you watch this one.
I hope you see this.
I hope you watch it. So, guys, I'll be honest. I didn't plan a whole lot of questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a side thing?
Yeah.
Shiba is an Indian word. This tastes really curry-ish.
Yes.
I think it's totally what
so
that's
it should be
named
pronounced
after.
Shiba Gold.
I think so.
I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with that.
While we're on the asides, while we were talking about her poetry, what's cool about her poetry is that English is not her first language. And she has a better grasp over super technical words that I don't even know the definition of. She'll write something and hand it to me, and I'm like, okay, well, let me Google this and make sure. Oh wow, how did you know to use that? That's.
I mean, not to flex, but to flex. I got a full award for it.
What award?
Yeah, I don't even know the name of the award anymore because I was such an emo kid and I didn't care.
I took you to that ceremony.
It was in the Southeast, all of the schools of the Southeast submitted, and my creative writing teacher submitted.
And she didn't even, that was the thing. She didn't even submit her poem because she was like, nah, whatever. But her teacher was like, no, this shit is too good.
That's how the grades are.
Yeah, and so she submitted it for her, and she won
and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You been published?
Yes.
I'm a little envious. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
not a big deal.
Ridiculous.
And then she's also influenced one of your songs that you wrote in all Spanish.
She has influenced a number of my songs, actually.
How I think this dog is trying to come out. Justin, I need you to come over and get him, dude.
You have a little doggy tour, but he's too big for it.
Oh, you're right. Maybe we'll be lucky if he does get out here. We're all screwed. How as far as living together,
mm-hmm.
how much better are you at Spanish now?
I am. Okay, so
I feel like she needs to answer this question.
How much better am I at Spanish?
So when I first met him in high school, he had snuck into this Hispanic leadership club, and everybody had lied and told the teacher that he was Dominican. And she believed them, and I believed them because I was a little freshman that didn't even know anybody. And so honestly, Spanish has always been good. And I mean, it's just getting better now. It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's awesome though.
Yo, he's outwriting me. I haven't written poetry in Spanish, but he's got whole songs in Spanish.
Okay.
What is that?
Actually, I got another question, but let's do it on the next one because I think it's a good question, and I'll save it for next week. All right. This is Los Calientes. This one, man, it is getting dark out here. If I would have known, bro. I wonder if the lighting is hindering or helping. If we were to take it away, if it would autocorrect.
Maybe.
Let's see.
I think
no. What do you think? Maybe?
You only can't see JJ.
Is that me?
Yep. You only can't see me.
All right, hold up. We got you right here in the middle. Let's light him
How
up.
about this?
We're good.
Now
There you go. You gotta be right in the middle.
I'm gonna backlight you a little bit. Like,
Yep.
I'll just say. Like,
I'm back live.
all right, so campfire edition. Oh shit,
Right.
I'm getting it all over my fingers. All right, did everybody dab it?
I am not yet.
Dad.
So this one super not hot. I think it's
Alright.
even like less hot than the last one.
Alright.
So
Okay.
all right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
We are, sir.
There we go.
There we go.
Cheers. That tastes very Mexican.
Mm-hmm. It is also called Los Calientes,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not hot. So when my question was oh gosh, did I forget it? Hang on a second. It's gonna come back to me. We were talking about poetry.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about Spanish. Oh, okay. For both of you guys,
Mm-hmm.
when you guys write songs, poems in Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
is there a struggle with like? Do y'all try to keep the rhyme with the Spanish word, but then also make it make sense in English? I've
So-
always wondered that about Spanish, Japanese, all of that.
So the best way I can describe it, it is so much easier to rhyme in Spanish.
Is it? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know, like English has like super weird words, and like
They're derived from different roots.
like
too.
orange. Like orange is a weird word to try to rhyme with, but
Oh, yeah.
naranja, like like it has all like flat A vowels.
It's like Spanish is all Spanish based. So they don't have like Germanic language. They don't have like other influences of other languages like messing up the sounds.
Yeah, so it's easier to like rhyme. There was one. There's a song I have on Spotify called Perdido, Perdido. If you guys would check that out. But I wrote it in English first,
okay.
and then there was this band called
Oh snap! I don't know.
Shakespeare.
Yep.
The band is called Shakespeare?
This
Yeah.
band is called Shakespeare, and they did like a song, like it was like a reggaeton song, and it was like in Spanish, and it's like totally out of their like zone, but they did it so well, and I was like, well, shoot, I have to do that, and so I took the song and I rewrote it in Spanish, but like some of the bars like translated from English into Spanish and still
And
rhyme.
then there's the wonderful
That's awesome.
world of Spanglish,
Yeah.
where there
Yes.
is no laws, just like poetry, and that's why I appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
all the creative outlet. Like it's really whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Nice.
pretty
Well, that actually answers something I've wondered my whole life.
You dab this? All right.
You rhyme so much better than I. I literally rhyme like
I
10% of the time.
No, so I think we both do things that each other appreciates about each other. Because like I focus heavily on the rhyming,
Mm-hmm.
but that's because I came from
Yeah.
like growing up very much like a hip hop rap background.
Mhm.
So like I am like I don't like reading poems almost without the rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
However, somebody who can make me feel something, like when it doesn't rhyme every line or
Mhm.
any of the lines, when they just say like a few things and I'm like, damn, that one got me. I'm
Mhm.
like more impressed with that than
Mhm.
I am if I can rhyme every line, you know. All right, guys, here we go.
All
All
right.
right, here we
So
go.
this one's dark Tabasco.
Mm-hmm. That's Tabasco.
Mm-hmm.
I would chase my tequila with this.
Now, musically,
That's right.
what were y'all's music influences growing up? And
Oh man.
so two really questions. This is a double parter.
Okay.
No, this really is campfire edition. So
I like it.
two-parter. Who were your influences growing up? And then I'm like the biggest emo kid ever. So, did you get into the emo phase? And if you did, what was your band? If you had to narrow it down to one band. So let's start with question number one. Who influenced you growing up?
I guess I will start. And weirdly enough, so like yeah, there's all the Latin influence from having lived in Mexico in my younger years, but then I realized that I always kind of strayed towards really like island vibes. So there's like so
Okay.
much Spanish dance hall and like Spanish like reggae that I was listening to without realizing that I was into reggae. So I super got into ska when I
Ooh.
got over here. The
Okay.
punk ska scene.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
You remember Swayze's?
Yes.
Yep. I
Dude.
used to frequent that place.
Swayze's was one of my least favorite places.
It was grody.
I didn't like it because I went to 2 shows there, and it was at the time I was living super south.
Yeah.
Marietta and Kennesaw, mainly Kennesaw, was like way too far for
Yeah.
me. So I had to drive a really long way, and I didn't really like the venue.
It's
and
not worth driving to. I used to live
No.
5 minutes away, and it was the only place that my mom would let me go for the longest time.
Let me get you guys in here a
Because she
little
knew
bit
no
more.
better. She didn't know what was going on there.
Yeah, so it's I'm not a huge fan of Swayze's, but yes.
You're shut down, I think.
So who's your band though? If you're a ska.
Or
emo.
Oh, okay. So specifically ska, because that's still like my go-to feel-good music. Big D and the Kids Table
Okay.
and Streetlight Manifesto.
Of course.
Big D's got the punk ska vibes, kind of like more like West Coast vibes. Streetlight Manifesto has a lot of mariachi Latin influence.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And they're super fun to watch.
They are so.
I've only seen them one time at Warped Tour. I would like to see them again.
They go
What you
to.
got?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So, no, you're great. So, growing up, man, so when I started out, it was a lot of gospel in my household.
Mhm.
And then I hit middle school, and I started trying to, like, find music for myself. I remember that was the first time I'd heard Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
And I started getting into classic rock and punk rock, and I did go through an emo phase. I feel like it was way more pop punk,
Yeah.
because MCR was my shit.
MCR.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
that was your
My
Let's just all hope that quarantine and this shit is over by the time Music Midtown happens.
so that they can come back.
So we
Yo,
can
listen.
watch
I first of all, I've
I'm
never
so
been
mad
to
that
a
we can't see
music
you right
festival
now.
before in my life. Hello.
Keep going.
Spotlight.
Keep
All right,
talking.
Yeah.
I've never been to a music festival before in my life, but when I do go, I plan to see My Chemical Romance because they did greatly influence my songwriting, my chord progressions. I don't know, the fact that he was just a freaking nerd
Yeah.
on the side, but then like made such like compelling emotional music was so severe. To
And he's the reason why you have the Umbrella Academy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
For nerdy, it's cool.
Yeah.
Man,
I think we'll just do this we'll just pass them around. Be like, so let me
It's
tell
gonna
you
be
about
like
my
the campfire
question. Yeah.
flashlight, you know,
yes.
with the horror
Yeah.
stories.
All right, so here we go.
Okay.
That's perfect. All right, so that was my emo thing, but like, and growing up, and after it was the classic rock and all that stuff, I started getting into jazz and hip hop and neo soul and R&B and rock. Like, so Foo Fighters is my favorite band. Tribe Called Quest is my favorite hip hop group of all time. Jay-Z is my favorite rapper.
That kills me a
Next
little
to
bit.
Q-Tip. Q-Tip is probably better than Jay-Z, but Jay-Z is really fucking good. And I could defend this. I could.
We'll
I
get into
could.
this. Will be a whole debate later.
Yes. But like,
Jay-Z, please don't kill me.
that's the other thing too, is like, we got Kendrick, we got Cole, we
Mhm.
got like so many people.
J.
who are-
Cole is very much up there for me.
He is high.
Yeah.
He
He's
is
one of my
real.
favorites for
He
a
is
while,
real
yeah.
high for me.
So, okay, this
Yeah.
next sauce, guys, this is sauce number 7. Now, this is where I will even admit this is where it starts to kick.
All right.
All right.
So, you guys ready?
All right. We're ready
Yes.
for some kick,
Where's
man.
that sauce? Is this the sauce?
That's
number
the
seven?
sauce here if you want
Did I
that.
not
Oh, wait.
sauce it? I didn't sauce.
Now, this one will come out pretty...
I get
Yeah,
distracted.
okay. All right. Okay.
That was
All right.
liberal.
That
Liberal.
was a liberal amount. Okay.
All right, I'll put the lid on that in a second.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh,
All
shred.
right, kids.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's the best flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It just also hits.
I was liberal.
Mm-hmm.
Or first off.
Oh,
Hey, yo.
That's the one.
that's the one. And that's only 7.
Okay.
Okay, so now I understand that Idris Elba meme where he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Did that.
Yeah, that one's the one that hit. So we just took on a Carolina Reaper. This is always where I want to
Shit.
start taking a sip of my drink. Yeah,
Oh,
this is where it hits.
oh shit.
Okay, so
Woo.
next question
All right.
here.
All right. Okay.
You know what's good when you gotta do that.
Yeah, dude, on the first one, it was funny. We were like, the guy across from me, Lance, he started doing it. He was like, and then all of a sudden, I guess just out of reaction, I started doing it. And so then we're both going back and forth like, all right. So I should do a deep dive on you guys. Let me see here. I should have.
Well, you're deep diving. I'm breaking the seal.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I'm doing it.
All right, we got somebody breaking the seal mid-show. I don't know if that's been
He's
done.
been known to do this.
He's been known.
in,
So-
in multiple interviews.
So I'm gonna try to find a good. Let's see here. Where is? I want to find a good JJ thing. I wanted to show this one video, but I didn't know.
What video?
Okay.
I feel like I should show it to you first.
Oh.
Is it a sexy video?
No, it was gonna be It's funny, I'm not even seeing it on here now. The Clark Beckham video.
Oh, I might have taken it away.
Okay. So maybe we shouldn't bring it up. Anyway. But anyway, let me just show my man JJ in all of his glory. This is a very good picture of JJ doing his thing.
Oh, there's that.
At the wedding, doing his thing,
That was the last
crushing
one I
it.
did.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do Gracia real quick.
Okay.
Alright, a second. Whew!
So you can know what we look like. You know.
Oh, man.
Just so people can know.
At this point. Yo, that one hit me a little bit.
Yeah.
Now,
It's like all the top because I didn't do both sides, you know?
Yeah.
Now, this is just very much like a regular, like the way the standard form of poems look. But just so you guys can see kind of like what the thing is. She has, if you guys want to follow her, she has so much, hang on, gotta get it, so much more than that going on.
Yes.
Okay. Now, deep dive. JJ,
Yes.
let's talk about, I did know the name of them at one point. What's the name of the wedding crew that you go?
Oh, Young Hearts.
Young Hearts.
Mhm.
And also, please hold the candle while you
Yes.
talk.
Yep. Get high off citronella.
Young Hearts. Well, Young Hearts started back in 2015. Actually, oh my God, we did. Yeah, so we started back in 2015. There was a band that was started by a friend of mine, Ashton Combe, and Jesse Cash.
Be conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your own sake.
For your benefit.
Yeah.
So they started it because they wanted, like, we went to a music school. All we did was, like, play music and sing together and all that shit. And we were like, why can't we do this and get paid? Like, so he basically made a way for us to still do that and get paid.
Ooh.
And
so-
how many Young Hearts gigs a week do you think you have?
Oh, a week I'll have, like,
Or-
one a week.
Or
But, like, a month I'll have, like, as of recent, like, okay, so the quarantine hit us kind of hard. It did, not gonna lie about it. But, like, before that, it was, like, one every weekend. It was, like, if we had two sometimes. So if it was, like, a weekend we had to each other where we didn't have to travel, it was, like,
Yeah.
that was some crazy shit. It was like, oh, man, we get to stay home? Like, what do we do now? Like, I don't know. It's,
Most Fridays and Saturdays are taken either like travel or actual performances.
Yeah.
mhm.
And how fed up do you get with having or do you enjoy it? Is that something like that's fun for you?
It's a cool thing, I guess, because I was always like heavy in the music scene anyways. So like I've always enjoyed a good live show, and
Nice.
they are a great live show.
Awesome.
It's like a little weird being in all these like private like bougie parties and absolutely not belonging there and having people being like, "What do you do?" I'm like, I'm the chauffeur.
How much
I
of-
don't know.
How much of it is like Wedding Crashers?
It's for me, it's a lot like Wedding Crashers. Actually, it's all like because you have to have like the one drink to like always blend in. Because if you don't, they'll look at you weird. But then you can't like actually party at all because
Right.
they'll look at you weird.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
So this next one, guys, we're doing the last dab. This one we switched from being 10th sauce to 8th sauce. Just because it deserves to be the 8th sauce. It doesn't deserve to be the 10th sauce. All right. And
it
as I was
smells
telling,
spicy.
well, as I was telling Gracia, just when you're doing it, be conservative. You know.
It's
All right.
thick, but it is a
All right. You guys ready?
All right. Okay, here we go. Tink tank.
Ting ting.
a little tingle. All right. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm in the dark over here so that people can't see me freak out.
I'm not putting that at all. Mm-mm.
See, this one tastes kind of good though, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know. What do y'all think? I'll let y'all be the judge. Should that one be number 7 and not number 8? Because I feel like number 7 might have been hotter.
Number 7 was a little hotter.
Yeah.
This one's got the after thing going for it.
Oh,
I don't
like
know
the
how
creep?
afterburn that was way harder.
Yeah. You talking about the creep? where it creeps
This
up.
one's more acidic, is what it is.
Yeah.
So the acid is what makes you feel like it's burning you more. Nah, you know it's coming back.
You know what? You're
talked
right.
too soon.
You're right. I also smoked too soon. I was like, yeah, man, that other one had the whole afterburn, but nah, it is burning the fuck out of my mouth right now.
So, now kind of like similar to the question where, how has like living in almost a Spanish household like influenced you? How has living with an anime freak influenced you?
Ah, yeah.
Well, okay, so
Talk
I was
about
already an anime nerd,
Hold it up to your face. You
I
gotta
was
do it.
already an
We're that
anime
dark
nerd.
now.
but he was an anime freak, so
Yeah,
that was
let's
one of
turn
our
the light.
bonding
Yeah.
things.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
that's
we have a
why
light, guys.
We were over here.
What the
We
fuck?
We
have
were over
a-
here, like whispering.
Are you
We didn't want to
kidding me?
interrupt.
Oh my God,
Hey,
we're
it's
idiots.
time for
He's
the
gonna.
end.
He's gonna.
The
start.
grand finale over
Okay,
here.
wait a minute.
This is gonna be
We've
so
been
funny.
spicy
Oh my God, we've been campfiring this whole time. I
We've
didn't
been
even-
holding up these candles.
I was
to
like,
our
this is
faces.
it. This is how it
We've been
is.
generally inhaling this Centrodella.
Yeah.
Here, now we can. Once he turns those on, we can put these back off to the
Anywhere.
side.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Get our
Hey, guys.
surroundings.
There you go.
If you wanted to know where I am, this is a bad time.
We're gonna keep y'all in the dark for a minute. There we go.
Hey!
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, that
real
looks so
look at
good.
the
Oh my
hot sauces.
God.
This is what JJ looks like.
Hey,
Oh my
guys.
God.
JJ.
What's
And this is
up?
the hot sauces. So we just did this one. Just so you guys know, we just voted that we are now gonna once again.
Switch those out. Yeah. Because that one is a little hotter.
Last dab just
That's
became
great.
number 7. Once again, Sean Evans, please don't. Please have me on the show. I'm not trying to diss out. I'm so
Please
sorry.
have us both in the show.
Wait, what do we gotta do to make it go back up?
I think this
Oh,
is
okay.
keep moving. I
Okay.
guess.
He's got, like,
We'll just
So-
keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, hey.
keep it
What's
moving.
up?
Okay, so
The anime nerdy.
anime, yeah.
I feel like it would be a whole nother episode to go into like the extent of the nerddom, but I will say
Nope.
we've always
Oh,
been
it's
so nerdy to the
the
point that in
shortest
high
timer
school
ever.
one time I got grounded and he used to put Berserk mangas in my mailbox so that I could be not bored during grounding.
Yeah.
That's how much and nerdy we really.
Now, so JJ, I already know your answer here.
Yes.
Oh, I did way too much. That's way too much. Don't do that much.
Okay.
Okay. I already know Berserk is your go-to.
That's my number one. That's
Now-
my number one.
Through your anime journey,
Uh-huh.
Gracia, what would you say? Do you have a favorite now?
Berserk is my favorite print because that was also like a big bonding thing for us, and it's just an epic story that I never outgrew. It's still good now.
Yeah.
It keeps
Like
being
they
good.
just had a volume drop like 2 weeks ago.
Did they?
Yeah, and then like Thundercat was like, "Hey, yo, this new Berserk is
It
fire," and I
goes
was
off.
like, "Whoa, what?"
It goes off.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
whole thing. Continue.
And on TV specifically, I think Samurai Champloo is like my go-to
Ah.
feel good. The music is
love
undeniable.
the
New
Samurai
Javits
Champloo.
is undeniable. Amazing artist. And
Side note: if you go to my page and click on the link in my bio on my Instagram, you will find a page on Audiomack by DJ JJ. What he has done is mixed Jay-Z's American Gangster album with nothing but Nujabe's beats. So Samurai Champloo shit with Jay-Z verses on it. And it's fantastic. I'm not going to lie to you. I know that you are kind of like, we're going to have a
Yeah.
debate, but I
No,
bet
no, no.
you, I bet you
if
would
you
enjoy that
didn't
shit.
appreciate Jay-Z before, you will now.
Okay,
Right.
I probably will. Just so you guys know, he's done 3. I mean, he's done more than 3 animes, but really his main 3 are going to be, of course, Cowboy Bebop,
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Champloo,
Yep.
Space Dandy.
Yep.
And so they all have different vibes as far as music goes.
Carolyn Tuesday.
Is the newest
That's
one.
the newest
Wait, he did
one.
Carolyn
Yes!
Tuesday?
Yes!
Oh my God!
Yes.
Dude, okay, so Carolyn Tuesday.
Yeah.
He also did a one-off that actually had really not a whole lot to do with music. It was called Terror and Resonance, and it was very much like about like it would be like as if 9/11 happened in Japan by these kids who, of course, were tested on as younger and they're like super kids. Anyway, but anyway, each one, Cowboy Bebop is very blues, jazzy. Samurai Champloo is very hip hop, and then Space Dandy is very like I don't want to just say techno, but like kind of techno-y, kind of spacey. And then of course Carolyn Tuesday is very indie songwriter.
Yeah.
Very very good.
Yeah.
No, they're
love him.
touring,
Love
like
him.
live.
Really?
Like the Carolyn Tuesday people that do the songs for that show are actually, well, they were on tour. doing real pop
Side
songs.
note,
Weird shit
I sang in a
You
group
know,
in college called the Voices of Lee.
Yeah.
Um,
Lee University,
Lee
guys. For
University.
those of you that
Well, you
didn't
know,
watch
I
the
mean, like,
Candace and
big
Jess
people
episode.
so the high note singer for that group when I got in was a girl named Jeannie Tirado.
When normally
Jeannie
it's
Tirado is the voice of Tuesday, right?
Yep, in English.
You just do it out yourself.
Jeannie Tirado voices
Fair enough.
Tuesday on
Bullshit.
Carolyn Tuesday. She's still a pretty good friend of mine. It's really dope because, like, I remember getting to college, meeting her, and being like, "What do you want to do with your life?" And she's like, "I want to be a anime voice actor." And I was like, "Sure, okay."
Yeah.
But, like, she's actually doing that.
She's doing it.
Like, she
Living her
was,
dream.
like, most recently, like, Cloud's mom in the
She's
Final
in it
Fantasy
now.
VII remake.
Oh, I know you were on it.
Oh, man. I heard her talking. I was like, is that fucking Jeannie right
Nobody
now?
really knows anybody's voice
I
over
got
any
1200.
animation ever.
They
Always.
talk-
That
they
is
talk
a thing.
about,
I hear it tones. I
Doing
hear,
the second one.
All right, guys, this is where we turn it up.
All right.
This is
Turn up.
if you guys have so this is
They're getting
this one's hot. That's about all I can say about that.
That's hot.
That's what
I like
it
the
does.
sound.
All right.
Yeah.
That's right now.
So this one's not. This one has at least a little bit of flavor to it, but this is where it gets bad. You know, I mean like really bad.
All right.
Are you guys ready?
All right. Cheers, guys.
Sure.
All right.
All right. Here we go. All right. So, what?
Yeah, it's straight concentrate.
I want to drink my drink.
I feel like
Oh,
this one
fuck.
has that like deep like rumble in your tummy burn, where it's like it didn't burn in your mouth, but it's like burning down here.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's all the hot sauces on top of each other. Who knows?
So I asked this question to everybody. I think this is gonna be the last one I ask this question on. I kind of want to take it out. I've had a lot of the same responses. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys give the same response. But I asked this question just mainly because I myself personally have a lot of regrets. A lot of things that I would have changed if I could have. Do you guys have one thing in your life that you would have done differently if you could go back?
I think specific. I think that's actually the attitude with everybody because of the quarantine. Everybody's like, I was just about to do this or just about to do this, and literally I was about to start school. I was about to start doing my yoga certification and like all of this stuff that I could have done last year or the year before, but I didn't. And the month that quarantine hit was when I had planned to like all my applications are like one final step.
Yeah.
You can start, and it's just
Now they're all pending.
yep.
Yep.
Right.
So don't wait.
Don't
Fucking
wait.
don't wait, man.
Today's your day.
Mhm.
Don't wait. All right, JJ.
Ooh.
Shit.
I don't know if
It's crazy
I
how like that.
regret
I'm making
anything.
more on unemployment
Because
than
the
I
way
was
that life
working
has
my regular
turned out.
job. It's
Keep
fucked
talking.
up.
Keep doing your thing. I'm just checking on it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm choking on hot sauce.
It's crazy.
But the way that life has turned out, like even
like,
things
outraged
or
by
even
it.
moments where I was like, man, this is terrible. Like I don't know how it's going to turn out. There was
Yeah.
something I learned in that moment. There was some
Yeah.
way that I
Yeah,
grew
that's what's
from that,
happening.
and I never would have
So
like
I'll
had
talk
that.
about-
I wouldn't be able
Funds are
to be
running
the
out.
me that I am now
So
without having
it's
had
just
that
like-
happen to me. So I don't know. There are a lot of things that sucked that I wish didn't happen, but I don't know if I regret.
Okay. And
That
see,
makes sense.
no, that's good. And this is kind of why I'm going to change that question.
Yeah.
Just because I've gotten a lot of similar things, and I agree with it. Like a lot of the things are like a lot of my mistakes made me who I am today.
Society's getting all woke, you know.
Right.
We all know this.
And you know, the people that are, I think, personal opinion, people who are very spoiled in their lives are people who haven't had enough bad things go wrong. Or bad things happen.
My car get
So anyway, guys, here it is. If you haven't done it, this is the bomb.
Oh shit.
Isn't that what we just did? Just
Nope.
now?
No,
Okay.
we did. The last one we did
Let's go,
was
Mama.
Hellfire Fear This.
Okay. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
Who's
So this. Ooh.
Oh,
know-
you fucked up. I got you.
Oh, you kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Okay, some sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit.
I'm
Yeah,
praying
you kind of
for that
fucked up
I
there.
fucked
A lot
up.
of people
Oh
So-
man.
No, I fucked up
Is this
because you
something-
did.
Yeah.
Just by
Yeah, we fucked
association.
up together.
Because we're a team.
We're a team.
Oh, right.
So okay. Yeah, this one's. I apologize, guys. This one's gonna suck.
All right. All right. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah,
Here we go.
here we go.
Boom.
You know, the one drum I got was this one. I wanted the most meat.
It can't swallow
That
it.
shit is gnarly,
no.
man. I've had that one.
How'd you end up with another wing?
These are really big ones.
Okay, so you've been like
You're
splitting them?
huffing them. Mm-hmm.
That's smart though. Yep. Okay, last question, guys.
Oh!
I'm not even done swallowing.
Oh! That's what she said.
Never a bad time to make that joke.
Son of a bitch. Okay, that was.
Oh, fuck! Okay, alright, I get it now. Oh! that's the one that did it! Oh, fuck!
And as soon as I did it, like I started hiccuping.
Here, if you need to like stand on the thing and walk around, I'll get out of your way.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
I'm okay.
There's a rope.
And then
Okay.
the entire sauce.
I feel like there's too much weird stuff going on in here for me to walk around.
So,
And
guys,
listen.
this is by far my favorite question.
Oh.
If you had one moment in your life that would be your happiest moment, we'll start with Gracia, and then we'll go over to JJ. If you had one moment in your life that was your happiest moment that you could pinpoint, what would it be?
I think immediately because of my adult life, I want to say it was actually on the night that he proposed. Because it was in like the most beautiful beach I ever saw with the full moon and us alone, deserted beach, beautiful fucking setting, one of the craziest weeks of my life. But also because like my safe place has always been, because of my childhood and growing up in Mexico, was those same beaches. So it was a Gulf Coast beach, and there's something about the breeze of the Gulf Coast. That's it.
Nice.
Fuck, I'm crying a little bit. It's the hot
Are you
sauce.
emotional?
It's the hot sauce.
Now, JJ, I feel like you're kind of pitted a little bit because, like, if that's her happiest moment, I feel like that kind of has to be your happiest moment.
I was going to say that, but since she has said that,
Or else you're going to get in trouble for sure.
here's the deal. I will pick another one since she said that.
Okay, so we're going with second happiest, just to, clear the air there.
Second happiest moment. All right, so for sure, there's a oh fuck, there's a musician that I followed since like 2008, guy named Nicolay. Okay, he's this producer from the Netherlands.
Netherlands! Sorry, my friend Dan Netherlands over here. His last name.
Hey, he produced for a group. He used to be a beat maker, produced for a group called Foreign Exchange. Started a record label with a guy named Fonte. They do a lot of stuff together. I followed them for years. I'm super obsessed with his production and his music making ability. This year, he sent me a remix that he did of one of my songs. It hasn't been released yet, but I have it, and it's one of the coolest motherfucking things.
Do I get to hear it after this?
Absolutely.
That shit is so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
It's one of the coolest things I've ever had happen to me in my life, because this is a dude that I followed forever. And when he sent me the email and I listened to it, I freaked out. I lost my shit. There was a solid month. That was all I could listen to. I don't like listening to my voice, but it was like the fact that somebody I had like
respected,
for
followed.
so long, like saw value in like what I had to bring to the table, and that was super dope. So like, that's where we are.
Well, here
I'm hurting right now.
I feel like this is why people are into like BDSM, because like it's like for sure an adrenaline rush, but I'm not sure that I'm okay, but I kind of like it.
So this girl at my job started watching these, and
Masochistic.
she was like, "Is this a form of is this a form of self-harm?" And I was like,
Think
"Definitely."
so?
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure.
We all got issues a little bit.
Well, guys, we made it top of Spice Mountain. She also made fun of me for saying that, but I'm gonna say it every time. All right, I don't care what you think, Emma. All right. So anyway, this camera. Tell the people what you have going home at quarantine.
All right, on my page right now, if you go to the JJ Show Official on Instagram, in the bio, there is a link that is to a mixtape called the Quarantine Mashups Volume 1. It's a set of songs that I have mixed, and they're fire. It's a fire mix, and I highly recommend that you go listen to that right now.
They're more fire than Da Bomb.
More fire.
sure.
I am
They really
hurting
are.
right now, but like already my neck is already in pain from just like knocking like that motion, because the shits are fire. They're fire.
Also, JJ Show Official on Instagram.
Yes.
And Poca de Gracia on Instagram.
Polka_DE_Gracia.
Gracia, what do you got going on at home?
Working.
a whole lot of work.
Yeah, you know, I do like that lame, like, by day I'm a phone operator, but, like, you know, by night I, like, write yoga. I just recently did my first photo shoot, so there's, like, weird lingerie stuff going on, too. And then
Turn
there's,
up.
like, I'm, like,
I
a
get that
full-time
at
yogi. So, soon to
I get that in
come
the house.
are me doing yoga and leading yoga, hopefully.
Cool.
Not in lingerie.
All right, guys.
Maybe.
That's
Or
all for
maybe.
this one. We're going to see you on the next